Before I start, I just want to tell you guys to first don't listen to my words, but rather listen to my heart and my soul. Because what I'm about to share with you tonight is something that is so deeply rooted in my soul and heart that this is the first time that I spoke publicly in a forum like this in the 18 years that I've been here. First of all, everyone that's of color in this community right now, it's not a color issue, but I'm going to call it a pink elephant when I see it. David Kato looks like me.
You gotta preach, boy.
David Kato looks like me. When I have walked the streets of Castro, I fight for the right of gay individuals. Doesn't matter the size, doesn't matter if you're a queen, doesn't matter if you're butch, you wear leather, you wear a sister's head, you wear makeup, it doesn't matter. What does matter that someone stands up and call injustice for what it is. It is injustice. And in the words of someone who was so close to this democracy, those of you who don't know Fannie Lou Hammond, let me educate you about who she was. She went to the Democratic Party when they would not accept her or the people that looked different because they sounded different or they looked different. We don't want you inside our Democratic Party. Fannie Lou Hammond stood up on national TV and barged into that room and said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. If not now, then when? For those of you still not with me, let me educate you again about the opportunities of when you feel like you want to be empathetic to something because it happened over there. It doesn't impact me here because it happened over there. So let me educate you about a story by the name of a young man called Emmett Till, who lived in the South. He was 15 years old. Similar to Kato, had his head bashed in because he looked at a person that he wasn't supposed to look at because he was supposed to know his place. Now, how many gay people out here have known someone told you, know your place? You can't go over there. You can't be too gay. You can't be too flamboyant. Don't be proud for who you are. So going back to the Emmett Till story, when they found out that his head was bashed in because he looked at a white lady, his mother was so enthralled that the people up north didn't even care about the impact of what had happened down south. She was so disgusted by the notion of apathy and people not standing up and calling hatred for what it is that she demanded that her son's coffin be an open coffin and that the international press will see what the world did to his son, to her son. This is what we're doing right now in the aspect of David Kato. We're opening up the coffin to let the world know that hatred cannot stand. It will not stand, and it must not stand. Will you be silent?
No!
Will you be silent?
No!
Next time you see someone sitting next to you that may look different or act different or walk different, and they're part of this community and fights for the same blood that we're in, I want you to embrace that person. Don't look at them differently or they're not a part of this community. I want to also just really thank the sisters. Come on, give it up to the sisters. I'm going to tell you why I'm giving it up to the sisters. The sisters are one of those organizations, and I think the most organizations, that stand up in ways that no one had ever dared think about doing it. They took the leadership position around this issue when that flag... Yeah, there it is. When that flag was told that it could not be lowered at half-mast because it only been lowered 3 times, because we need to be selective in who we lower that flag for. I do want to say at this moment to say thank you to the UMC for having a change of heart. Because if you didn't have a change of heart, I think we had a couple of people out here that's going to help you make you have a change of heart. Is that right? Yeah. So we're going to stand up together. We're going to stand together. Yeah. We're going to fight together. Yeah. We're going to die together. Yeah. And the most important thing, we will love together.
Well, I'm here to call for solidarity and for mutual respect among gay, lesbian, and transgender people around the world. I came to this city in the time of Harvey Milk, and I was very much impressed with him. And you can't miss the similarity between Harvey Milk then and David Kato now.
That's right.
I wish to speak out against the fundamentalist Christians at the quote, family in Washington that's putting on the National Prayer Breakfast today, and President Obama was going to attend the National Prayer Breakfast. And I want to call them to account for interfering with the internal affairs of Uganda and inflaming homophobia over there and getting people killed, calling for people like us to be killed. How fortunate we are to live in the city of San Francisco, where people have been coming for a long time to be who we really are. And so I stand in solidarity, and I call for empathy and for peace and for mutual aid and support, and to honor the memory and the work of David Kato. David Kato, like Harvey Milk, is going to be immortal through the good memories of everyone who benefited from his work as an activist. We're here, we're queer, we're not going shopping. Thank you.
Listen, I'm a gay man and I'm a person with AIDS, and I am standing against the death penalty in Uganda. I am standing against the death penalty in Iran. I am also standing against the death penalty here in America. The death penalty everywhere is wrong. We have to make the links between the death penalty bill that is pending in Parliament in Kampala and all the people who are on death row here facing execution. I also want to thank everyone in San Francisco, especially I want to honor the memory of Hank Wilson, who, when I have said we have got to get into the streets because they have hanged 2 gay teenagers in Iran, people came out to the streets. When we said in Iraq they are gluing the anuses of gay men and force-feeding them laxatives and killing them by death by diarrhea, people here came into the streets. We in San Francisco stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters everywhere around the world. And I thank all of you for coming out. I cannot do this without you. It is really terrific that today there have been demonstrations. This morning in D.C., when it was like 20 below, we turned out to demonstrate against the prayer breakfast. A few hours later, at Uganda House in Manhattan, gay activists took to the streets to send a message to the Ugandan mission to the UN. Killing David Kato was not acceptable, and now in San Francisco we're ending the day with this terrific rally. I'm really glad everyone has turned out and that we are united with the message, stop the violence.
It is instructive for us to know exactly what's going on. The editor of this Rolling Stone magazine, who published the 100 photos of gays in Uganda, this is an example of the kind of remorse that he feels. This is very recently from his website. Someone called me from the United States to check an internet link showing an infamous pro-homo Ugandan bishop who was fired from the Catholic Church. was running up and down in Europe and the United States telling all and sundry how he's making good use of homo funds sent to Uganda. This is unacceptable, very odious, very disgusting. This man must be stopped at all costs. Guys, how can we stop him? That's one example. Despite the outcry of having published those 100 pictures resulting in David Kato's death, an extraordinary meeting of Rolling Stone editors held last night resolved to publish dozens of photos of top lesbian couples in the country. Since the judge did not postpone the interim order secured earlier by a host of homos, we can now expose them, our lawyer said, as our editors smiled. Guys, prepare for another round of sensational optical nutrition. So, this is an example of who we're dealing with. There is no remorse. There is no shame. I'm a big free speech advocate. I don't believe in silencing people. I think that you need to be responsible about speech. One of the things that I have done is the editor of Rolling Stone magazine, who's now soliciting people to send him photos of lesbians and gay people in Uganda, and to carry on doing this. Two can kind of play the same game. It's very easy to print people's names, people who are propagating hate, people who are wishing for and celebrating the death of gays and lesbians. This is him and this is his number. The difference is I'm not advocating harming him, I'm advocating shaming him. There's been a website that's been registered, the domain name happens to be the same as his, and that's going to be a destination where the exposing of homophobes, no matter where they are in which country, is going to be a place. So he's actually inspired a destination that's going to use his name to expose homophobia. So, again, this is the nature of who's attacking us, and we really have to step up and make sure that this kind of thing doesn't happen. And the sort of final thing, which is the icing on the top for me, is that this same editor claims that his inspiration is Nelson Mandela. Well, I come from South Africa, and although I haven't met him, I can say unequivocally he's no Nelson Mandela. So thank you.
We sisters bear a final gift. We bear the gift of music. So let our voices carry the spirit of David Kato to the Summerlands. Please feel free to join me. You have lyric sheets. If you can't remember the lyrics, hum along. If you can't remember the lyrics, you deserve have your gay card taken away. So this final song is for David.